The Beast Within, Understanding the Werewolf, written by Catherine Briggs. The werewolf, a terrifying creature of the night, half man, half wolf. It is a figure that has haunted stories and nightmares for centuries. The word werewolf comes from the Old English words wer, man, and wolf, wolf. It is a creature that embodies the wildness of nature and the darkness that can lurk within the human soul. But where did this idea come from? And why has it endured for so long? The werewolf is not just a monster. It is a symbol of our deepest fears and desires. It represents the animalistic side of human nature, the part of us that can be driven by rage, hunger, and instinct. The transformation into a werewolf is often seen as a curse, a punishment for some transgression, or a deal with the devil. But it can also be seen as a form of liberation, a release from the constraints of civilized society. The werewolf myth speaks to something primal within us. It taps into our fear of the unknown, of the wild, and of the darkness that lies within ourselves. It is a story that has been told and retold for generations, each time taking on new meaning and reflecting the anxieties of the age. The werewolf is a creature that is both familiar and strange, both human and animal, and it is this duality that makes it so endlessly fascinating. Ancient Origins, Early Tales of Transformation, written by Catherine Briggs. The belief in werewolves is ancient, stretching back to the earliest days of human storytelling. We find tales of shape-shifting in cultures all over the world, suggesting a deep-seated fascination with the boundary between human and animal. One of the earliest written accounts of a werewolf-like creature comes from ancient Greece. In the Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the oldest surviving works of literature, the goddess Ishtar transforms a man into a wolf as punishment for rejecting her advances. The ancient Romans also had their werewolf legends. Ovid's Metamorphoses, a collection of mythological tales, tells the story of Lycaon, a king who is transformed into a wolf by the god Zeus as punishment for his impiety. Lycaon's story is particularly significant because it establishes several key elements of the werewolf myth, including the association with savagery, the idea of transformation as a curse, and the link between werewolves and the moon. These early stories suggest that the werewolf myth arose from a combination of factors. On a practical level, wolves were a real and present danger in the ancient world, and their predatory nature made them objects of both fear and fascination. On a more symbolic level, the werewolf represented the potential for violence and chaos that lay beneath the surface of human civilization. The werewolf was a reminder that even the most civilized of men could be consumed by their animalistic instincts. Spreading Fear, Werewolves in the Medieval World, written by Catherine Briggs. The werewolf myth continued to flourish throughout the Middle Ages, a time of great social upheaval and religious fervor. During this period, the werewolf became closely associated with witchcraft and the devil. The spread of Christianity throughout Europe led to the demonization of pagan beliefs and practices, and many ancient myths and legends were reinterpreted through a Christian lens. The werewolf, with its association with wildness and transformation, was seen as a particularly potent symbol of evil. The medieval period saw a surge in werewolf sightings and accusations. People lived in constant fear of these monstrous creatures, believing them to be lurking in the shadows, waiting to pounce on unsuspecting victims. The belief in werewolves was so widespread that it began to influence legal proceedings. People accused of being werewolves were often subjected to trials and punishments, often based on little more than superstition and fear. The medieval werewolf was not simply a monstrous creature. It was a symbol of the chaos and danger that permeated medieval society. The Black Death, which ravaged Europe in the 14th century, further fueled the fear of werewolves. The disease, with its gruesome symptoms and devastating mortality rate, was seen by many as a manifestation of evil, and the werewolf, with its association with disease and death, became a scapegoat for the anxieties of the age.